Hey y'all, it's Nikayla and I'm finally back with another video that's not related to dogs. If you saw the title, it's not clickbait. I ain't got no job. Believe it or not, I quit my full-time job of almost 12 years during a pandemic. So with my last job, I had gotten hired there in September of 2009 when I was still in undergrad, so it was a part-time job. They hired me full-time in January of 2012, right before I graduated. It wasn't necessarily my dream job or the job that I wanted to be at for years. It was kind of just something that worked for me. I was comfortable, it paid my bills, and even when I would try to apply for different jobs and I would get offers, something or another would happen and I would just end up still at that job. But was I happy? No. I was unhappy for some years at this point. I can't even give you an exact time. I didn't want to go to work most days. I didn't want to get up out of bed. I lived 7 minutes away from my job, and on average 3, 4, 5 times a week I would be there late. Now it wasn't super late, like 5, 10, 15 minutes, but still, like, I have no reason to be late when I live 7 minutes away. I was working pretty hard, if I must say so myself. I was doing my job, and if my coworkers ever needed anything, I would do that as well. And then I was doing work for my supervisor, who at the time was older and could not type. So I was preparing just about everything for them. And sometimes it was work related, most times. And sometimes it was not work related, but I was still doing it. I would get phone calls outside of work hours about work stuff, and yeah, that was my life. So of course, as the years passed, I began to work a little bit smarter and not harder. So the work that I began doing, which consisted of a lot of reporting, which ain't really my thing, I would work on those reports and different tasks that I had, and they wouldn't necessarily be as time consuming compared to the work that I was doing early on in my career, but it was still work and I still didn't want to do it. So we fast forward to 2020, which at this point is 11 years working in this office. A pandemic hits, I'm now working from home, and I just get a taste of not having to go into an office every day, and I can't go back. So I thought about this for months, and I'm just like, Lord, when I have to go back into the office, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have to see if they can let me work from home, because I don't wanna be there. And then also with me transitioning into pet care and working from home, it really allowed me to put more time and focus into it, because I'm home all day now. And I can take care of a dog all day if I want to and do my job. Well, that being said, it wasn't that my job was so horrible or anything like that. It was just that I wasn't working in my purpose. When I was a kid, I always said that I wanted to be a veterinarian when I grew up, but then I realized I don't really know if I want to go to school for that and if I want to be cutting into animals. But I always have loved animals, especially dogs. So like, as I had transitioned into pet care, I just kept getting more ideas of how to make this thing work. And then with the whole transition from working in an office to home, and then me not wanting to go back to that office, I said, you know what? Let's try this thing full time. So yes, I quit my job of 12 years with essentially no safety net. Now you're probably asking, how long is this gonna last? I don't have the answers.
You ain't got the answer, Sway.
But I will say that depends on how well you support me. So your next question is probably, well, how can I support you? Let me tell you. So you can do either one or all of these things. Make sure you follow and subscribe to me on all social media platforms. Make sure you invite your friends and your family, your colleagues, whoever. Invite them all to like and follow me and subscribe on all social media platforms as well. And make sure you like, comment, and share different posts that I put up on social media. Make sure that you book me for your pet care needs. And then make sure that you refer all your friends and your family to book me for their pet care needs. You can also purchase some merch for yourself and for your pet if you don't have a pet, for somebody else's pet. Of course, I'm hoping that it's gonna last as long as possible, but I'm just gonna have to see how it plays out. And at the end of the day, if it doesn't play out how I intend for it to, then that just means that there's one, something better for me, and two, I took a leap on faith and tried something that I never would have tried some years. Right now, I'm just here to mind my Black-owned business, and I hope that you guys are rooting for me as well. Stay tuned for the rest of this video to find out a little bit more information about what I'm doing to make all of this work, because I know that you notice I got a different backdrop. You'll find out why. Also, happy Black History Month, y'all.
Hey y'all, it is Thursday, November 19th, 2020. I probably look super weird right now because I'm literally driving on my steering wheel. Like, I'm on this thing. My knees are literally touching the front of my truck. It's because I have a whole door in the back of my truck. If it didn't fit, I was gonna get somebody with a pickup truck to get it for me, but it actually fit, you know? So I just told them put it in there. I only got 15, maybe 20 minutes to drive. We're gonna cruise all the way home. Okay, y'all. I made it home by the grace of God. This is the start of, drumroll, my garage renovation. I wanted a separate kennel space from my home, but I'm too broke for that right now, so I'm gonna use my garage as my temporary kennel for right now. So I'm gonna start my renovations by adding a side access door, because there's none. I feel like that should be standard on garages, but I'm gonna add a side access door so that my clients can just walk up to that door and it'll be like my separate space. So I'm gonna take you guys along for the ride, and we'll see how it goes. As you can see here, this is what my garage looks like before. I pretty much never use it. Only when I was like doing yard work and needed to get my truck out of the way would I put my truck in it. But my garage door opener stopped working a while ago and I never got it fixed. So I just stopped using it. I needed to get all of this stuff out of the way, and you'll see a little bit later how I did that. But yeah, this is the before. Stay tuned for the after. So today is actually a new day. It is November 24th. As you can see, there's another door in here. So you're probably trying to figure out why. I got a door the other day that had 2 panels, and I'm a little bit OCD, and I want the door that I put in the garage to match my other doors. So got a 6-panel door, and I found a way to haul it so that my driver's seat is not in the dashboard. So that's a small win, I guess, in my book. I should be getting it installed tomorrow morning. Hey y'all, it is Wednesday, November 25th. It's the day before Thanksgiving, and as you can see, it's a new day and I have a door in the car again. My latest update to y'all was the fact that I wanted a 6-panel door instead of a 2-panel door, so I had gotten that. Well, both of those doors swing inside, and I need a door that swings outside because they didn't realize that there's concrete at the bottom of my, like, cinder block at the bottom of my garage. So the door would be kind of high and it would hit the railings of the actual garage door. So I returned the 6-panel door that I got. This is the 2-panel door, and I'm going to return that and get a 6-panel one that swings out instead of in. The guys are there, and they're getting started on the shed for me so that I can move everything out of my garage into the shed, and then they'll, I guess, start working on the door after. So if you remember from earlier, I told you I'd let you know how I was going to handle everything that was in my garage. Well, this is how. I got a shed installed, and everything from my garage is going in here. Now this is what the garage door looks like. Ignore the unfinished mud and tape and sheetrock around it. I just wanted to let you guys see the before of what it looks like finally installed. I have a little step that was added on the outside part so that you could step up and come inside. I may add like a little side railing later, but right now this works. It's not really that high. It's only like a 1.5 steps, but here it is. So of course, the next step in this garage renovation is doing something to these walls. I've been in my home at this point for 7, almost 8 years, and this is what my garage has looked like from day one. So here I am, I'm just sanding the sheetrock mud and making sure that it's relatively flat so that when I get ready to paint, it'll look, you know, pretty decent. So after sanding the ceiling and the walls, next up is painting. Of course, I'm going to start with painting the ceiling first and then work my way around to painting the walls. I'm just doing a regular ceiling white, and I was going to do a regular white on the walls, but I decided to kind of mix some paint that I already had with white paint and do like a really light gray. So at this point, I've already finished cutting in all the way around the ceiling. So now it's time to paint it. This was actually my first time painting a ceiling ever, really. So I think it went pretty well. Ignore the sweat that you see. I'm getting a workout in. You hear me? So while the ceiling dries, of course, it's time to paint the exterior door. It's unfinished and kind of like off-white, and I want it to withstand the test of time, so adding some paint will help it do that. And also it'll actually be like more of a bright white than that dingy beige kind of white. So I finished painting the door, and now I'm back inside painting the walls. I mixed some white paint with some gray paint that I already had just to give it a little bit of color. I didn't want everything to be all white. Like I mentioned earlier, the ceiling is white and you can see a little piece of it here. But so far so good. I want you guys to stay tuned to my next few videos to see the rest of the progress that my garage to kennel renovation takes. Make sure you comment, like this video, and subscribe.